Today we are doing college football player props here on PrizePicks for Saturday, October 22nd. Before I get started, there's a link in the description below to sign up for PrizePicks, or you can use promo code TUFF to sign up. They will match 100% of your first deposit by using that code or using the link in the description below. There is a Discord link in the description as well, where we're building a super strong and supportive community. Everyone just trying to help each other win. Almost 900 members in the Discord now. And then Patreon link is also in the description, where I'm going to give I do give all my plays here on PrizePicks for each sport that I do play: NBA, college football, NFL, MLB as well. But like, for example, this YouTube video, I'm giving 2 total player props that I like for the college football slate Saturday. Patreon, there should be around 15 plays live, 2 different tiers. So go ahead and check out that link in the description below of this video. But let's get into it, you guys. Again, not a gambling expert, not financial advice. These are simply plays I'm personally looking at making, hopefully giving you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player props here. But let's get into it. So the first one I like is going to be a rush yards prop, and it's going to be Day. I guess on PrizePicks it's Day Hunter, but it's actually Day Hunter. I like his over 70.5 rush yards here against BYU. Now, Day Hunter has actually gone over this all but once or twice this season: 62, 64, and then 89, 118, 121, 78, and 76. And what is encouraging to me right off the bat is he is averaging 6.3 yards per carry. Right, 97 attempts, 6.3 yards per carry. He's got 7 touchdowns already on the year. But he's facing a BYU defense who has just been horrendous against the run. You can see second most runs given up to running backs, or second most yards given up to running backs across all games this season. Second most in college football behind UNC Charlotte. So 1,191 yards on the ground they've already given up to running backs. All right, Day Hunter is the unquestioned lead back in this offense. This game is probably going to be a shootout, but I do think Day Hunter will get enough touches, and I'm sure the Liberty coaches understand the holes that the BYU defense does leave open for running backs. But just take a look at this, right? So Day Hunter's line for this game is at 70.5. If we take a look at BYU and the teams they played, let's just take a look at their last 5 games, right? So BYU versus Arkansas. Raheem Sanders, 15 carries for 175. The backup running back had 11 carries for 51. All right, so that clearly over 70.5. BYU versus Notre Dame. Audric Atisme, 14 carries for 97 yards. Other running back, Logan Diggs, 17 carries for 93 yards. And the third running back even had 11 carries for 42 yards. Right, so massively over the 70.5 line that he has there. BYU versus Utah State. Calvin Tyler, 18 carries for 104. Easily over. And then here, BYU versus Oregon. Bucky Irving, 14 carries for 97. Even Noah Whittington had 13 carries for 66. Okay, and then even Wyoming versus BYU here. Titus Swen, 20 carries for 78 yards rushing. So we're looking at the last, The last 6 games? For the last 5 games for BYU. And each running back on the team, the number 1 running back, has gone well over 70.5 rush yards. Like the over here for Day Hunter, who's actually gone over this without facing BYU his last 5 games here. Taking Day Hunter over 70.5 rush yards against BYU. And the other prop is going to be one that we made on Patreon last week, and it paid off for us. I know some people were maybe questioning it, but we're looking at Boutte. Okay, and there's a few props that I like here, but I'm going to go with his over 11.5 fantasy score here. The breakout has finally happened here now, starting to get some chemistry with Jaden Daniels, the quarterback at LSU. Last 2 games against Tennessee and Florida, 15 fantasy points, 17.5 fantasy points, and it's finally starting to happen, right? So this game against Ole Miss, LSU, the over-under set at 65. I think it's going to be a shootout. Hopefully it is a shootout. 65, this game is in Tiger Stadium in Louisiana. Ole Miss against the pass, I mean, they're decent, but I mean, still 202 yards pass yards allowed per game. LSU's at 192. They are giving up 17.3 points total. LSU's at 21.3. But take a look at this. I mean, Boutte, right, in this game, if you take a look at his game log, this game here, right, against Tennessee, all right, let's just take a look at SU on September 10th, okay? He had 5 catches for 42 yards and 5 catches for 42 yards and a run rushing attempt for 41 yards, but we won't even count that. Game against Tennessee, right? 6 catches, 33 yards and a touchdown, easily over 11.5, and then 6 catches for 115 against Florida. His targets have been now 3 straight games of 8 targets here. We saw those first couple games, 2 targets, 5 targets, 6 targets. 8 straight games here For Kayshon Boutte of 8 targets. But why I like this play the most, honestly, in my opinion, if you go back to last season, or if you go back to last season, or I think it might be even the year before that, 2020. Yeah, you go back to 2020, you can see Kayshon Boutte here, 14 catches, 308 yards receiving, and 3 touchdowns. Okay, this was like the iconic Kayshon Boutte game. Here, in this game, when he was a freshman at LSU, he went absolutely crazy. 308 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns, 14 catches, just crazy stuff. I mean, we're talking about Kayshon Boutte, you guys. Like I was mentioning in last video, or I think I mentioned it in Discord. Like, this dude is an NFL wide receiver talent, right? And I think his lines are this low because of just kind of where he's been at earlier in the season with the targets and things like that. But the breakout is finally starting to come here, and I think 11.5 fantasy score for him is still too low. I'm taking the over on this one, Kayshon Boutte, over 11.5 fantasy points. So again, let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about these 2 player props. Again, not gambling advice. Just plays I'm personally looking at making. Patreon, Discord, PrizePicks link are all in the description below. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and as always, let's cash.